20 years ago, there were no Muslim players in the English Premier League. But last year, here at Newcastle's St James's Park, no one was left in any doubt that they'd arrived.
Comes off done, it's Taylor! Now Demba Ba! Newcastle 1-0.
Demba Ba and Papis Cisse celebrated a goal with a Muslim prayer.
I'm a striker, I love scoring goals, and every time I score one goal, then I'm more than happy. That's why I prostrate. It's a kind of submission to not to anyone, but to Creator. Our religion is the most important. It's even more important than the football.
The Premier League now has nearly 40 Muslim players, enough for 3 football teams. In this programme, we'll talk to players and managers and find out what impact Muslims are having on the English game.
It's important to understand the basics of every religion.
What an absolute screamer!
We find England is a very good place for practicing the religion.
Everything I do for God. And if God is happy with me, I am happy.
But how is a profession with a reputation for nightclub brawls, boozing and excess dealt with teetotal players who value prayer and fasting?
They still go to the nightclubs. Don't worry about that.
And we'll find out what inspired 40,000 Newcastle fans to start chanting about Ramadan.
To have a chant like that in the corner at Newcastle United has got to be acceptance.
And follow Wigan Athletic goalkeeper Ali Al-Habsi as his team triumphs in the FA Cup. When it comes to Islam, some might say British society needs positive messages of integration more than ever. Could English football offer up a surprising model for the future? It's May, almost the end of the English Premier League season, and not for the first time, Wigan Athletic are battling relegation. Goalkeeper Ali Al-Habsi trains 4 times a week, but there are other commitments in his life which rank much higher. As a practicing Muslim, Ali must pray 5 times a day.
Sometimes in the football you have a lot of pressure and a really hard time in the football. But when you are Muslim, when you believe in your faith, I think everything happens, you can say, with a reason. When I left Oman 11 years ago, I was a fireman, and today I reached the highest level in the football and the most stronger league in the world. And this is one of my dreams. You know, when you have a certain life like this, you have to thank God.
When I used to play for Bolton Wanderers, I used to came here with Sam Allardyce and rest of the players, and we quite enjoy his show. Sam Allardyce said when he came outside the door, he said, "I only got 5 minutes. I've not got much time." And you have a guess what time he left? After 1.5 hours.
Some players take a huge amount of time before a game, praying to their particular God. They will won't go out on the pitch without going and doing some of the certain routines that they do, and they feel that God in their religion plays a huge part in how they perform on the field. When I start praying before the game, everyone respect what I do, and this is great. And they ask me a lot of questions, and I feel very happy to have more questions about Islam and about religion.
We are sometimes curious to know how it works, because it's different. It's just different with the other religions, especially for the Muslims. They have a lot of different things than the Catholics. So it's always interesting to ask them and why they do it.
I think the average professional in a Premier League dressing room knows far more about Islam than the person on the street. So actually, Islamophobia, you know, is an issue, but I think it's more an issue in English society than in English football.
When it comes to accepting Islam, Premier League players are ahead of the game. But have the clubs adapted to Muslim players? Here at Liverpool's training ground, team doctor Zafar Iqbal looks after the physical well-being of some of the Premier League's biggest stars.
As all the players know that I'm Muslim, and they'll joke about it. And so for me, you know, I'd much prefer that, and that they at least understand of what my way of living is, and it's not hidden. The club itself have catered and been very accommodating. So for example, in the canteen, the chicken is all halal, and so the rest of the players, it doesn't really make a difference for them. I'm not asking for any preferential treatment. All it is just a little bit of awareness.
You've got to be aware of it, making sure you've got a prayer room, making sure you've got halal meat if you need it for the lads who, you know, have to have that type of food, and that's always very, very important for you to make sure everybody's integrated into the club.
We let everybody free to pray when he wants, but of course it cannot be in the middle of a training session, for example. It cannot be in the middle of a game. For the rest, everybody's free to believe what he wants and have a religion he wants. We respect that.
It's quite simple. Clubs have realised that players, staff are important assets, and if you can get them on side, then you've got a better chance of them working harder for you.
Come on, speed on the pass.
Keeping players on side, always a good idea. However, the business side of the Premier League can pose challenges for Muslims. Mamadi Sidibe comes from the same mean streets of Paris that produced Didier Drogba and Thierry Henry.
My first goal in Premier League and our first win in the Premier League, so it was a throw-in from Rory Delap. He threw into the box. It was many Aston Villa defense here and just touched the ball and they went in.
Let's see that for real, shall we?
It's Delap. Up went Larson to try to clear. Mamadi Sidibe. It's Big Mama.
But Mamadi's commitment to Islam means there are some dressing room rituals, like gambling, that he has to pass on.
Gamble, I never gamble in my religion is forbidden. I can't gamble. Some's gonna make money, but I think you lose more money than anything else, and that's bring more problem into your family, and I can't live without gambling.
But for Muslim players who wear their faith on their sleeve, wearing a betting company's logo on their shirt can be uncomfortable.
I think that's usually out of the hands of the Muslim. Although he's not allowed to obviously gamble, I think that's something which is definitely, you know, out of the way and something that you cannot affect really.
We are players, and all these things is coming for the football club. It's not about, we can't do about it anything, because only just to go there, we do our job.
But one thing Muslim players can control is how they use their wealth. Arsenal player Abu Diaby has his own charity and supports other good causes like this one in London.
14. 14? You 14, you? You sure? We live in a society, and if you like, you know, there is a lot of everybody are different, but the difference here has to bring people together. And I mean, by doing charity activities to help people, I think is a very good thing to live together.
Thank you. Thank you. One question: when you're going to sign for Tottenham Hotspur?
It's a good one.
Lots of Premier League players have their own charitable foundations, but for Muslims, charity is one of the foundations of their faith.
When you become famous and you got the money, you know what you have to do, because as a Muslim, you have to give 2.5% of your money away, like every year.
So does he give away 2.5%?
Yeah, I'm a Muslim, I have to.
2.5% off the pitch, 110% on it. Back in Wigan, Ali Al-Habsi has helped his team get through to their first ever FA Cup final. As the squad heads down to Wembley for the big match, some unlikely Wigan fans have already arrived.
It's a beautiful set, you know. Imagine it's full.
This is the Omani FA. They've flown over to support Ali Al-Habsi as he's the captain of their national team.
Because of Ali Al-Habsi, every single person in Oman will be following this game and hoping that Wigan will win this game.
In recent years, Wigan may have been one of the smallest clubs in the Premier League, but they now have a massive following in the Middle East.
Wigan have got a quarter of their population coming, 23,000 tickets they've done, and the town only has a population of 80,000 people.
Probably about 15,000 Omanis as well.
Wembley hasn't seen that many Omanis since the 1996 final, when the Liverpool squad wore those awful white suits. Oh no, those were Armanis. The game here tomorrow is sponsored by a beer company. The English game has a love affair with booze, yet for Muslims, alcohol is forbidden.
As a Muslim, we don't drink alcohol because of the fact that the effects it can have on the body. Ultimately, we're meant to be in control of our own actions, so alcohol can influence that.
Greater professionalism in football has meant that the game is gradually sobering up.
20 years ago, you would have players who, after the match, their idea of refuelling would be 10 pints of Guinness. Now their idea of refuelling is, carefully calibrated bottles of isotonic drinks. And it's interesting talking to some managers is that, they think it's great having Muslim players in because they don't drink.
They still go to the nightclubs. Don't worry about that. So I think that generally we drink fruit juices and stuff like that, so they are capable of training without having intoxicated the body with alcohol.
Dr. Zafar Iqbal has found that even in the mayhem of victory, players have been careful to keep alcohol away from him.
We were playing in the Carling Cup final, and after the game, the players, who were obviously going to be spraying champagne about, made sure that I wasn't in the dressing room, kept me out of it, and even went to the extent of removing my clothes from the dressing room as well. So it's that kind of understanding and acceptance which, for me was very touching and made me feel accepted.
But has the football establishment in England moved with the times? At Wembley, the Omani FA are collecting a new cup for their own domestic competition. But due to the influx of top Muslim players, they're not the only ones getting a new trophy. Traditionally, British football awards champagne to the man of the match.
I was man of the match, but they said to me, we know that you're Muslim and you don't take like non-alcoholic bottles. Yeah.
So what did they give him?
Nothing.
Nice.
They had the champagne, but when I take them, I always throw them out, because if it's forbidden for me, I can't also give the champagne to someone else.
There was a famous incident when Yaya Toure won the Barclays champagne bottle as man of the match, and Yaya very politely said, I'm Muslim, I don't drink. And I think it was at some point after that Barclays realised actually Yaya Toure is winning so many man of the matches and other Muslim players are doing so well and winning man of the match. We won't have any champagne anymore, we will just have a sort of vase, bauble, trophy number.
It's the day of the FA Cup final between Wigan and Man City. Wigan are massive underdogs. Fans arriving at the stadium have come more in hope than expectation.
We love Ali! We love him! We love him!
He's a Wigan!
Yeah! Come on, Wigan!
Yeah, he prays at the start of each game. As a Wigan fan, everybody's sort of looking to the sky anyway to try and keep out the goals.
He's a good player.
He's got potential. He's got potential for the near future. So
we've got 100% faith in him. The guys are good.
Meanwhile, on the M6, a bus is bringing the family and friends of Wigan goalkeeper Ali Al-Habsi. It seems that even in Oman, the British summer is notorious.
We're gonna win it.
It's a big day for Wigan, but it's just as big back in Oman.
Ali Naman is like the David Beckham over here, or Wayne Rooney. Ali is over there.
Majority of Muslims people around the world are very proud of Al-Habsi.
I'm a fan of Arsenal, to be honest with you.
People portray Islam as being extremism, and I think this today shows that Islam distances itself from all this bad publicity.
Coming off now M6 junction 38, we're heading to a nice Arabic restaurant for maximum 1 and 15 minutes.
Joining them on the bus is Ali's friend Dave. He's Wigan through and through. All Wiganers are known as pie eaters, but today Dave's getting a taste for something entirely different. A rice dish from Yemen called mendi.
Only thing I need to learn is the words of the songs. I'm a bit stuck on that, to no disrespect, but it's been fantastic, and now we're going to have my first ever taste of Arabic food. There's quite a lot for a few people on there. I'll never starve for it that way.
I doubt Dave will ever go hungry. But for Muslim players, food is at the centre of a conflict between their football and their faith. Ramadan. It's a 30-day period that can come at any time of the year and any time of the season.
Well, guys, let's pray.
The aim is to get closer to God, and to do this, Muslims don't eat or even drink for up to 18 hours a day.
The only issue I've got with regards to religion and football is when some of the players are obviously fasting through Ramadan, and they're not the player that they could be.
We just hope that don't affect the performance, because if affect the performance, it will affect the team and will affect themselves as well.
They're so starved of nutrition and fluids, or they can quickly fatigue and quickly feel faint and disorientated.
You don't want to upset your manager or your team or your club, and also God is another side.
The controversy surrounding Ramadan is one reason why Riz Rahman wants to educate the managers of the future.
You never ever know when the situation they're going to find themselves in. As an example, if Alan Pardew at Newcastle gets a sack next week, Mark Viduka goes into position, he can inherit a squad with nearly 40% of Muslim players. So if he's had that training and awareness, they're better equipped to deal with them. Anyone know what Ramadan is?
Fasting.
Yeah, fasting. In the summer now, it's going to be 18 hours. 18 hours.
How many days?
Oh, 30 days. 30 days, yeah. Like Nathan Ellington, he said he don't affect him. But when he was playing for one certain manager, the manager sort of dropped him, because the manager had made his mind up that because he's a Muslim, it's going to affect him, so I'm not going to pick him. You think that's fair, right or wrong?
Doesn't matter what he's saying, I know that he's boring going to do it. So I think if I was a manager, I think I would probably put him on the bench, play him the last 30 minutes or something.
You're right, you know what? Yeah, it is cool it's going to affect their play. I'm not saying, they're not human, because they are. At least first do talk to him, and if all the tests, he can run just as much as someone who's drinking or someone who's eating as much, Then why put him on the bench?
We had a Muslim, and in Ramadan we used to have the morning off. None of the boys cared. Like even half hour before match, he'd be nowhere to be seen because he'd be in the mosque or he'd be outside at a coach service station. We'd stop. We didn't know why he stopped. We'd see him out on his mat in the middle of the car park praying. No one really cared, you know.
The dilemma for a player during Ramadan is that they have to be in peak physical condition, and if they are fasting throughout the day and it is maybe an evening kick-off and they've had 12 hours without taking in sort of fluids or foods, then that is an issue.
Balancing the physical demands of the game with the religious requirements of Ramadan isn't always easy. Both players and managers have to make compromises.
Every time I had a manager that was not happy with it, I just tell him, listen, I do it. If my performances are still good, then I keep playing. If it's bad, you drop me on the bench and that's it.
They would prefer me to not fast, but they understand. They understand that is a special moment for me, and again they try to accommodate things to make me better.
I make sure, like on Saturday, like on the match day, I'm not fasting, and also probably to not give excuses to people saying, look, he's fasting, that's why it's not been good. But there's nothing to do with that, because you have some players, they're fasting on a match day and they're doing very well, they're playing very well, there's no problem.
2 years ago, Ramadan became part of football folklore. When Newcastle signed Demba Ba, the fans got a hungrier striker than they'd bargained for. However, a lack of goals put a spotlight on his fasting.
People say it's because of Ramadan. I just said because of, getting a new team and stuff like this. And I'll start scoring goals just after Ramadan. So, players, supporters, fans in England are very, very good at finding songs.
Newcastle fans affectionately reworked the Depeche Mode song Just Can't Get Enough into a jubilant chant.
The Ramadan song is absolutely fantastic. He scored so many since Ramadan, and to have a chant like that in the corner at Newcastle United has got to be acceptance, and to be accepted to that level, to me, is fantastic.
The song was chanted all season, outside and inside stadiums.
Never scored 5 since Ramadan. Just can't get enough. Just can't get enough. Never scored 6 since Ramadan.
Well, he scored 17 goals, so it was a bloody long song at the end. Because you had to sing every one of those verses 17 times.
Back at Wembley, the mist may not have descended, but the heavens have opened. Meanwhile, on the bus, the Omani weather forecasters are about to get some news they hadn't predicted.
Alcaraz is played. Is it nets? You're joking. He's on bench.
Ali's not been chosen to play. He'll sit on the bench as a substitute.
We're so disappointed because we were looking forward to seeing Ali play and start the game, but manager's decision always you have to respect it.
Because of the shock news we just had, so I don't even feel that I want to watch the game really.
If you've got a faith, I think that's what its main object is, to help you through life's trials and tribulations.
My faith really guides my life in everything I do, every day, and it gives me as well a lot of confidence.
I think faith is important for life. If you don't have faith, I think you feel alone, really.
Sometimes, you get very hard time with injury, or maybe you didn't start the games or, competition. But when you have the belief for yourself from God, you come in really stronger.
Arriving at the stadium lifts everybody's spirits.
We did the big journey, now it's the time to enjoy it. Yeah? Come on, Wigan!
Well, I think we live in a multicultural society, full stop today. I think while you'll never get rid of some of the problems that occur, I think that generally in football, we're all blessed to be footballers and we're all blessed to be together.
Look at the people. Look how much they like Ali. We know how much Ali also likes those people, so we are happy at the end now.
People occasionally criticise English football as being behind the times, but actually it's way ahead of the time. It's maybe how society really should be.
I'm from a man. I'm not a Wiganer anymore. Here's my new family.
When the players come in more in the Premier League, I think the people will understand more about Islam, especially even with the fans, because the fans, when they see some Muslim players in big clubs and all Premier Leagues, they start, reading about this Islam and everything, and you get more understanding how we are like normal people, and we like to be with everyone.
Inside Wembley, Wigan pull off one of the biggest FA Cup final upsets ever.
Added time, 3 minutes. Maloney with the corner in towards Watson! There is a new name on the old trophy, and that name is Wigan Athletic.
We won! Come on, Wigan!
I told you we're going to win, and we win it. Yes.
Oh, we went crazy, we were like jumping like crazy.
So how does Ali think the people of Oman will be feeling right now?
You can see all the flags is here in the stadium today in Wembley, and they're so happy.
And my friend said to me, "You're going on a coach, would you not feel isolated?" It's a bit strange for me, he's the only white person, so it doesn't matter. It's fantastic, it just shows that you can go to a game and not drink alcohol and have a better time. Absolutely overwhelmed by this. I've waited all my life.
Muslim players from abroad, like Ali, have thrived in the English Premier League. But as yet, no British Muslim has ever walked out on the Wembley turf as an England player. Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland also haven't fielded a Muslim footballer. Zesh Rahman is one of the few British Muslims to have broken through to the Premier League. He believes that one day a British Muslim will go one step further and play for England.
When the day comes when a British Asian kid plays for England, it will be massive in terms of integration and opening up the mindsets of people a lot more, because if one thing can help to create harmony, it's football, and if that day comes, it will be a monumental occasion.
These sessions, where young Muslim players can both play and pray, are one way of encouraging the Muslim stars of the future.
It's very disappointing that there aren't more homegrown Muslim footballers, but it also took time for black players to come through and represent England. It will happen. The door is open for them to get in.
To have a Muslim lad wearing this, it'd be a remarkable achievement for someone, and I'd invite them down to my house for some coffee.
There's no doubt that one day a British Muslim will wear the 3 lions on his shirt, because that is football's greatest strength. It celebrates raw talent, no matter where you're from or what you believe.
It doesn't matter about religion, it's football, it's just a game.
There's something heartening about a Muslim fireman from Oman becoming a hero to a town of northern pie eaters. This is the English game in all its unexpected and unlikely glory. To paraphrase Jimmy Greaves, it's a funny old game.
During fasting, Luis Suarez, he'd come to me at sunset and say, Doc, it's time to eat, you know, just like I'd forgotten.
What do you call that Everton player? Play, he came there and he loved it.